That's what I've always said.
Really, how interesting.
And it's gonna get even worse.
That's what I've always said to myself.
And it's gonna get even worse.
You look a little worse for wear. Haven't slept in a long time, have you?
Too long, I should say.
Come on, step closer. With me, you'll find what you're looking for.
I used it myself.
That's what I've always said.
You said that you've got what I need. Does that include information?
But of course, what is it you want to know?
Are there any other traders here at the harbor?
If you keep to the left at the quay, you'll find Helvor, my husband. He sells fish. On the other side, there's Brahim, the cartographer.
Do you know anyone from the upper quarter?
If I knew anyone up there, I wouldn't be standing here, my boy.
What interesting things are there to see around the harbor?
Well, if you're looking for some action, you can go down to Cardiff's Inn at the quay. There's always something brewing there. You can hardly miss it. The guy standing by the entrance there will certainly draw your attention to it. Besides that, there's the large ship of the Paladins, the King's stately war galley. That one's really worth seeing. You'll find it if you keep left at the quay and then pass under the high rock face.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
You could say so. It wasn't that long ago. A thief ran by here. He must have stolen a bow in the lower part of the city. Of course, the militia came here way too late, like always. He got away from them, just jumped into the harbor, and he was gone.
He can't keep anything to himself.
Show me your wares.
It was his decision, wasn't it?
That's not what my husband...
Hey!
I've got no time for this.
He'd better shut up.
It was his decision, wasn't it?
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
What are you up to? What's all this creeping about?
Halt! If you take one more step by Innos, I shall knock you down.
That's not what I heard.
You can't rely on
Will it ever change?
Hey, you, wait. You look familiar to me.
What do you want?
I've seen your face before somewhere, right?
That was quite obvious.
Here, we found this picture on some bandits we picked up a few days ago. It looks a lot like you. Apparently, those guys were looking for you.
It's not what I heard.
No, you've got to be mistaken. Everything's fine with me.
Whatever you say, stranger. But if that happens to be your mug after all, and if you have some problems, keep them outside of this town. Things are difficult enough here as it is. And strangers who bring trouble into the city don't stay here long. I hope I make myself clear.
Don't tell me you didn't know that. I hardly know what to believe anymore.
I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. Brian will have finished his apprenticeship soon, and then he'll leave the city. Are you good for anything?
If you mean, do I know blacksmith's work?
No, that's not what I meant. Sooner or later, the orcs are going to lay siege to the city, and then the only men who will count will be those who are in a position to defend our city. And I won't take on anyone as an apprentice who will disgrace me by fleeing the city with the women and the good-for-nothings, instead of holding the fort here with the men.
Where did you pick that up then?
I'm not a good-for-nothing.
Those are big words. Can you back them up with big deeds?
What are you getting at?
Bring me an orc's weapon. Orcs have been seen near the city. With a bit of luck, you won't have to search for long. If you manage to bring one down, I'll take you on as an apprentice, provided the other masters agree.
I hardly know what to believe anymore.
It's a bad business.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different master?
The other masters may well approve, but I will only give you my approval when you first prove that you're good for something.
You listen to the wrong people.
Do you sell weapons too?
Forget it. Everything I make goes to the paladins or the militia. I have a commission for 100 swords from Lord Hagen. He wants to equip the city guard.
Hey, you!
What do you want? I'm not giving anything away.
I'm looking to become an apprentice.
Really? And with whom are you gonna sign up?
I want to sign up with one of the other masters.
You have come to ask my approval? As far as I'm concerned, you can sign up with whoever you like.
I want to sign up with you as an apprentice.
With me? No! I have already had the dubious pleasure once of grappling with an apprentice. That's quite enough for me. I invested several years in his education, and in the end, the poor fool up and poisoned himself. Go sign up with one of the other masters.
What will I have to do to become your apprentice?
I couldn't bear yet another dilettante on my conscience. There is a multitude of herbs out there. Used in different variations, they develop the most diverse effects. You probably don't even know half of them. Here. This is a list of the most important plants. Bring me a plant of each kind, and I might reconsider taking you in as an apprentice.
Show me your wares.
And Enos, in his wisdom, did so. Adanos feared for the day in which the beast would return to the land. And so he bade Enos to leave a part of his power in his realm so that he might restore it to the human wisdom did so. But the light was a torment for Beliar. All that Minos created was destroyed by Beliar. Adonos saw that this way nothing could exist at all. No light and no darkness. And so he set himself between his brothers in order to reconcile their dispute, and he did not succeed. But there, where Adonos stood, was a place in which Enos and Beliar. Adonos be with you.
Who are you?
I am Vatras, a servant of Adonos, the guardian of the divine and earthly equilibrium. What can I do for you?
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
And why would I do that?
Cavalorn sent me to you.
And what did he tell you?
He said you're in dire need of more good people.
Aha. So, you want to join us, son?
Here, I've got a letter for you.
For me? Indeed. This is an important message you're bringing me. I wonder how you got hold of this letter.
I took it from some bandits.
By Adonis, that's not good. That's not good at all. If what you say is true, we've got a huge problem. I shall have to take care of it as soon as possible.
I've got this stone tablet. Can you tell me more about it?
Those are artifacts from the old culture, which we have been investigating for some time. There are several kinds of them. Some contain information about the history of the ancient people, and that is the kind I am interested in. Bring me all of those that you can find. I shall give you an appropriate reward.
I've got another stone tablet for you.
Great! Here, take a few potions as a reward.
Can you teach me something about magic?
Only the chosen of Innos and the chosen of Adonos are permitted to work rune magic. But common mortals can also work magic with the help of spell scrolls. I can show you how you can channel and expand your magic powers.
I want to increase my I want to join the Ring of Water.
You do? Well, that means you have already fulfilled the first requirement.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, there must be someone among us who trusts you. Otherwise, you wouldn't even know about it. But I know nothing about you at all.
What do you want to know?
Well, you could tell me where you come from and why you have come to the city.
I carry an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
What is this message?
A large army is gathering as we talk, led by dragons and determined to conquer the country.
Dragons? You speak of beings which until now have only been mentioned in legends. How do you know this?
Zardas, the magician, told me. He sent me to warn the paladins.
The necromancer? So he lives, and he sent you. Who are you really?
I'm a former convict from the penal colony of Corinus.
Good. Let us summarize. You are a former prisoner who has been told by Zardas, the necromancer, that dragons have come to conquer the country. And you have come to report this to the paladins. That all sounds rather fantastic, but I cannot perceive that you are lying to me. Therefore, I must assume that your motives are honorable.
I want to give you a chance to join the Ring of Water.
Tell me about the Ring of Water.
Since you are not yet a member of our community, I cannot tell you everything, of course. But I shall tell you what I may.
Who are the members of the Ring of Water, then?
I cannot tell you that until you join the ring, but you will certainly have met some of them by that time.
Where are the other water mages?
They are exploring the ruins of an old culture northeast of Corinus. We suspect that those ruins might contain a passage to a part of the island which is as yet uncharted.
What exactly is it that you do?
We stand between the Order of Innos and the chaos of Beliar. If one of the two sides should gain the upper hand, it will mean either total loss of freedom or deadly chaos. Therefore, we guard the balance between the two. That's what makes life in this world possible for all.
Tell me more about that uncharted area.
If you're interested in joining the expedition, I could send you to Satyrus with a letter. You can only participate, of course, as long as you're one of us.
Of course. And what does that mean in concrete terms?
The fall of the barrier has evoked numerous threats. The bandits are probably the most obvious one. Not only has it become all but impossible to travel the island without being attacked, there's someone in town, too, who supports the bandits. We have found out that the bandits receive regular deliveries from a weapons merchant in Corinus. We try to find such people and keep them from endangering the city. If you can find out anything about this, let me know.
About this weapon. How much do you know about the weapon?
Ask Martin, the provisions master of the Paladins, about this. He should be able to tell you more. He has been tasked with unmasking the weapons dealer. You can find Martin in the Harbor District. If you see a heap of crates, provision, and paladins, Martin won't be far.
What must I do?
Know that you take on great responsibility. I do not let just anyone join who comes to us and asks. If you want to join the ring, you will have to prove that you act like one of us.
And that means...
Before we let a young man join our ranks, he must have done a great deed for the ring. Only then can I begin to consider letting you help preserve the balance of forces on this island.
I have vanquished the Sleeper. Isn't that a great enough deed?
My ears hear many a tale these days, including the story about the banning of the beast called the Sleeper. I have not heard that this was achieved by a single man, although your eyes tell me that you are convinced you did this. That confuses me slightly, but I cannot be sure that my senses might not deceive me sometimes.
I have freed many people. The barrier is gone.
even if you can really claim responsibility for that. The great event in the Valley of Mines has not only set free the water mages and other upright citizens. All the criminals of the entire country are roaming Corinus these days, harassing the population. The bandits have already taken over large areas of land outside the city. It has become all but impossible to leave the town and return unharmed.
So what would be an appropriate deed that might convince you?
Corinus is facing a great enigma these days. The number of people missing from the town seems to increase almost daily. If you can explain to me what happened to them, you shall have your place within the Ring of Water. However,
Yes?
you should take your message to the Paladins first. I consider it a matter of utmost importance. Talk to Lord Hagen.
But Lord Hagen is not going to receive me.
Yes, he will, no doubt about it, provided you become a member of a powerful community first. The Ring has far-reaching connections. We shall assist you in conveying your message as soon as possible. You should talk about this to Laris, whom I trust. He will help you.
What community should I join?
There are only 3 communities that have enough influence. These are the City Militia, the Monastery of the Fire Magicians, and the troop of mercenaries on the landowner's farm. The choice is yours, son. Laris can certainly assist you with this difficult decision. Talk to him about it.
I shall do that. Is there anything that could help me with my search?
You're a very persistent young man, but I actually can think of something that could make your tasks easier for you. I shall give you this ore amulet. You'll certainly be able to use it. It is an amulet of the searching Will-o'-the-Wisps. There are only very few of them. The Will-o'-the-Wisp that inhabits this amulet has very special properties. It can help you find things that normally elude the naked eye. You summon it by simply wearing the amulet. If it loses its power, or you cannot find it, simply put on the amulet again and it will reappear. The Will-o'-the-Wisp can detect weapons. It could be very helpful to you in investigating the weapons deliveries to the bandits. Treat it well, and it will never fail you.
A will-o'-the-wisp in an amulet?
Will-o'-the-wisps are admirable creatures. They consist of pure magical energy. They are bound to the magical ore in this world. It is their origin. It gives them their strength. I'm not surprised that you've never heard of them. They only appear to the person who bears the ore to which they belong. Will-o'-the-wisps living in the wild have been forcefully removed from their sources. They will attack anyone who approaches them. There is no way to help those pitiful creatures. You would better stay away from them.
Can the will-o'-the-wisp do more than that?
More than look for close combat weapons? Not unless you teach it. I think Riordian knows how to teach these beings. He is one of us, currently traveling with Satyrus. Perhaps he can tell you more.
Thank you. I shall take good care of it.
Wait. If you see Laris, give him this ornament and tell him that it needs to be returned. He'll know what to do with it.
That's the first I've heard of it. Halt, stranger. I didn't see you come through this gate.
And?
And the guards on the other gate have orders not to let any unknown persons into the
That's
city.
what I've always said.
Well,
I shall have to have a word with those two, but now for us two. I am Lothar, Paladin of the King and humble servant of Innos, your lord. Our commander, Lord Hagen, has entrusted me with the task of explaining to all newcomers the new laws which apply to all inhabitants of the city.
Since people have started simply vanishing all over this town, everyone needs to watch out that they don't suffer the same fate.
He doesn't see that. I can't help him.
all right. Explain the rules of the city to me.
First, the Honorable Paladin Lord Hagen resides in the upper quarter, along with his troops. That is why access to the upper quarter is allowed only to honorable citizens. Second, the town hall in the upper quarter is now the command post of the Paladins. Only the Paladins themselves and members of the militia have access to it. And third, whoever is accused of a crime must exonerate himself with the commander of the militia. Any questions?
Nothing surprises me anymore.
I have an important message for the leader of the Paladins.
The Honorable Lord Hagen is not receiving anyone. Lord Andre, the commander of the city guard, is responsible for all issues pertaining to the common folk.
Where did you pick that up, then?
Listen, the city is threatened by dragons.
That can't be true. Another lunatic. We have enough unrest in the city as it is. And without some dimwit scaring people with fairy tales about dragons, I immediately locked up the last person who was here telling dragon tales and sent him to the Valley of Mines with the prison transport. So mind your tongue. We can't use anyone here who spreads panic among the people.
Is it really true?
Somebody already reported the dragons here?
Yes. The fellow's name was Diego. I think so, in any case. I warned him just like you. But the lunatic just wouldn't stop getting on my nerves.
So why won't they listen to me?
I have come to get the Eye of Innos.
The Sacred Eye of Innos? How do you know about that? You're not a member of the Order.
A magician told me about it.
I don't know what his motives were when he entrusted one of the secrets of our Order to you. But he certainly didn't mean for you to get your fingers on it.
But
I don't want to hear any more about it. First you start with fairy tales about dragons, and then this. Incredible.
how do I become a citizen of the town?
Only those with regular jobs will be considered citizens of the town. But don't think that you'll be admitted to Lord Hagen just because you're a citizen of the town. As a citizen, you have access to the upper quarter, nothing more. Only as a member of the militia will you have access to the town hall.
That doesn't surprise me.
Where can I find work?
You'll have to apply as an apprentice to one of the masters here in the lower... As soon as a master accepts you, you are a citizen of the town. However, the other masters must agree to it. That's the custom here in Corinus. If you were thinking about looking for work in the Harbor District, forget it. The scum of the city live there. Don't even go there. You would regret it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Where can I find the commander of the city guard?
Lord Andre can be found in the barracks at the other end of the city.
Where can I spend the night here?
If you're looking for a place to sleep, go to the hotel directly across from the barracks. The Paladins pay for the lodging of all travelers who come to the city. The traveling traders from the marketplace are also lodged there.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
How do I get accepted into the militia?
By express command of Lord Hagen, only citizens of the town will be admitted into the militia.
I see.
If you want to know more, speak to Lord Andre in the barracks.
What do I have to do to get armor like yours?
What? You aren't even a member of the militia! You're not even a citizen! How can you even think of being allowed to wear the armor of a paladin? Only a few militia soldiers, those who have performed extraordinary deeds, have been granted that honor so far. If you want to be a paladin, You have a long road ahead of you, my boy.
It was just like you said.
How do I get...
Say, are you listening to me at all? You're not a citizen of this town. You can save yourself the trip. The guards won't let you in. The entire area behind the inner gate is off limits to you.
I've got to go.
If I hear one more time that you are telling people here about dragons, you will be in big trouble. Do I make myself clear?
I agree with you completely.
He really didn't deserve that.
You listen to the wrong people.
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
You really believe that?
Why can't anyone enter the storeroom?
The Honorable Lord Hagen has confiscated the goods for the King's army.
That's not what I heard.
Are you deaf? One step... Just like you said.
He doesn't see that.
I'll never get this open without the right key.
That's the first I've heard of it. It was just like you said.
I'd have gone about it differently.
I've heard a thing or two.
Do you really believe
Hello,
that?
stranger. You must be hungry and thirsty. Perhaps I can interest you in my wares.
You listen to the wrong people.
I was actually on my way to see the paladins.
There's little chance of that. Since the paladins made themselves at home in the upper end of town, hardly anyone gets in there anymore.
It can't go on like this forever.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
Me? Nah, I don't have much say here myself. There are a few people in the lower city who have enough influence to get you past the guards. Mateo, my boss, is one of them. Maybe you should talk to him.
Where can I find Mateo?
You're standing right outside his shop. Just go on in. He's practically always there.
It was just like you said.
What about the other influential citizens?
The merchants and master craftsmen here on the main street are the most important figures in the city. You should try to get accepted by one of them as an apprentice like me. Since I started working for Mateo, the people in the city treat me with respect.
I've heard of it.
I need some money, and I'm looking for work.
I've heard that Bosper has trouble with his suppliers. His shop is right over there. They say he pays pretty well.
Doesn't surprise me.
What do you have to offer?
At the moment, I don't have much choice. The damned landowner doesn't deliver anymore. And what we get from the small farms isn't enough to meet the demands of the city.
He never would have thought of that
Tell me
himself.
more about the Peasants' Revolt.
It's quite simple. Onar, the fat landowner, won't pay any more taxes to the city. Imagine, we're at war with the orcs, and that fat slob wants everything for himself. Normally, the city guard would take firm measures in such cases. But now comes the best part. They say Onar has hired mercenaries to keep the troops from the city off his back. Mercenaries. The whole thing will end in a damn war, as if one war weren't enough.
I'm not telling you anything new.
That's the first
What do you
I've heard
know
of
about Onar's mercenaries?
I heard that most of them are former convicts from the mining colony, and their leader's supposed to have been a big shot with the king, a general or something, whom they put away as a traitor. These are terrible times.
it. So why won't they listen to me?
Show me your...
Halt! No one may enter the storeroom!
Halt! Only the citizens of the town and the king's... Halt! Only the...
I'm a respected citizen of Corinna.
You are the dirt under my fingernails. Make yourself scarce.
Welcome to my shop, stranger. I am Basper. I craft bows and trade in furs. What brings you to Corinnis?
I need to get into the upper quarter.
Where the paladins are? Forget it. You need to be a respected as a stranger.
So I noted. I'm looking for work.
I could use a new apprentice. The last one just gave up his job 2 days ago. Do you know anything about hunting then?
Well...
I could teach you how to skin animals. I'll pay you well for every skin you bring me.
What if I want to sign on with one of the other masters?
Balderdash. Herod and Matteo already have apprentices. Constantino the alchemist is a loner, and he hasn't taken an apprentice in years. And as for Thorben, everyone knows he's dead broke. He probably couldn't even pay you. I, on the other hand, am in urgent need of an apprentice, and I pay well too. But no matter where you want to sign on, you need the approval of all other masters from the lower part of town.
Will I get your approval?
All right, you shall have my approval, but on one condition. Work for me, at least for a short time. That way, you can find out for yourself whether you like my craft or not. And who knows? Maybe you'll end up liking it, and you'll stay with me. If you're good enough to sign on with me, you're also good enough for all others here.
What do you want me to do for you?
I will teach you how to skin an animal, and you will bring me, let's say, half a dozen wolf skins. Then I'll know that you have learned your trade. If it doesn't take you forever, and if the skins are in acceptable condition, I will take you on if you like. Or, you can start with one of the other masters, if that's what you really want.
Teach me how to skin animals.
Right. Listen, it's quite easy, really. You take a sharp blade and cut open the animal's belly. Then make a few small incisions on the inside of the legs, and you can peel off the skin. Bring me the wolf skins and we shall see.
Why did your apprentice give up his job?
All he said was that it had become too dangerous out there. If you're really interested, then you can ask him yourself. His name is Bartok. He's probably hanging out near Corrigan's Tavern. Go through the underpass from the smithy, then you're headed straight for it.
I want to start as your apprentice.
Before I take you on, I need to know, of course, whether you're any good at all.
forthwith urged to join the Royal Militia.
Nobody ever asks me.
Don't bother me, I'm on duty.
Why haven't I heard about this before?
He never would have thought of that himself.
Nobody ever asked me.
Nothing you can do about it.
That's exactly what I said.
I never knew that.
Ah, customer, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for a room.
Ah, you're in the right place then.
One of the paladins told me that I could spend the night here for free.
Yes, yes. Just go up the stairs. We still have 1 or 2 beds free.
Why do the paladins pay for everything?
I don't know what that's all about either. For one thing, I think they want to get all the poor suckers off the streets so they don't make any mischief. And for another, they want to get on the good side of the traveling traders. Now that the farmers are rebelling, we have to rely on the traders for provisions. Besides, I think they want to improve the morale in the city a bit. Lord Andre has even arranged for free beer to be given out at the Gala Square.
I'm not telling you anything new.
Who's staying here at the moment?
Almost all of them are traveling traders from the market.
Aha!
Don't even think about messing with their stuff. I don't want any trouble here.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. By reason of the imminent danger of an attack by orcs, each inhabitant of the city is to prepare.
What are you doing here?
This is my home. But if you mean, what do I do all day? I arrange fights.
You arrange fights?
Every day, from noon until evening. And right here, behind the warehouse in the Harbor District. Home sweet home.
What are the rules for the fight?
Quite simple. All regular weapons are allowed, no bows or crossbows, and no magic. We fight until one of us drops. And as soon as one of us is flat on his back, it's over. Got it? Whoever leaves the ring is out. So if you quit, I win. The stake is 50 gold coins. If you win, you get 100 back. If not, well, then your money is down the drain. Got it?
Yep. You live behind the warehouse?
It's only temporary. When you have as much gold as I do, you can afford a little luxury. I was a drill instructor in the army, but I left that bunch to seek my fortune in adventure. Now I've wound up in this shithole. My last 100 gold pieces went to the guards at the city gate, so I'm seeing to it that I come into money again. I even had to sell my sword.
To whom did you sell the sword?
I swapped it with a trader in the marketplace for some stuff. The guy's called Jorah. The torches and the bit of meat that he gave me are long used up.
He isn't likely to give me the sword for nothing.
It's an old sword. He won't want much for it. Just think of the money as an extra stake for the fight.
What do you know about the war against the orcs?
There's not much to tell. The war's been going on for too long. The country people are starving. Everywhere there are peasant revolts that are put down mercilessly by the king. But there's just too many of them. If the war doesn't end soon, the realm will fall apart.
Can you train me?
If you really want to learn how to fight, then go up against me. The lesson is no extra charge.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus. By the explicit order of the Honorable Lord Hagen, the following decree is hereby enacted. The security measures for the protection of the upper quarter will be further strengthened.
Boy, that lunatic's hammering is wearing me down.
Who are you talking about?
Can't you hear that hammering? Who do you think hammers all day long in the Harbor District? I mean that lunatic felon. He takes the hammer to his hut every day.
I could take care of Felon.
You want to help me? What's in it for you?
You tell me.
Oh, that's how it is. All right, if you can get him to stop hammering, I'll pay you 25 gold pieces. But I'll tell you one thing right now. You can't talk to the guy. He's nuts. The only thing that will help is a few decent punches.
If I beat him up, I'll just get into trouble with the militia.
Down here at the harbor, no one pays much attention to brawls. But if you steal around here or mess with the sheep, you'll be in trouble.
I'll see what I can do.
You can think about it. Remember, I'll pay you 25 gold coins.
Are those your sheep?
The only one that belongs to me is the one that answers to the name of Lucy. Ha ha! That's my wife, Lucy. The sheep belong to the militia. All the sheep they collect from the farmers, they bring to me.
And how are the sheep?
Felon's hammering is going to drive them crazy. One of these days, they'll go completely to pieces.
Hear ye, inhabitants of Corinus.
You've got no business being here.
Smart kid.
Works all day, too.
What do you want?
I wanted to have a look around here.
And where exactly are you headed?
These are bad times.
I don't believe that.
Actually, I was on my way to the upper quarter.
Yeah, right. And I was about to board a ship and have it take me to the king for an audience. People like you and me haven't been allowed in the upper quarter since the paladins came.
Can't keep anything to himself.
Are you a citizen of this town?
If you mean do I live here, yeah.
Bad times.
But still they won't let me into the upper quarter.
Now that's typical.
Only the tots can get in there, or the merchants and craftsmen from the lower end of town. The people from the Harbor District don't carry much weight in Corinus. There isn't even a regular militia patrol down here.
And he works
works all day, too.
What interesting things are there to see here?
There's a cat house here and a tavern. The landlord's name is Cardiff. If it's information you want, he'll be the right person to talk to. Do you, need money, by the way?
Honestly, I witnessed it myself.
Are you giving it away?
No, but right across the street here is the house of Lamar, the moneylender. I'm sure he'll give you a few gold pieces. Just go ahead.
I won't tell her a thing from now on. Really?
Do you work for Lamar?
Smart kid.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
Has anything exciting happened lately?
Not long ago, the city guards turned the entire harbor district upside down. They were searching for stolen property. There've been plenty of thefts here lately, especially in the better quarters. They're obviously trying to blame the poor suckers at the harbor for everything.
That's not what my husband thinks.
I don't believe that.
Any work?
How's it going?
How much do you want?
What do you mean, how much?
I'm the moneylender and you came to me. What could you want from me? Money, of course.
He'd better shut up.
If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
And it's going to get even worse.
Really? I haven't seen it with my own eyes.
I don't believe that. He'd better shut up.
You don't say.
That's an open secret, and it's going to get even worse.
Everybody knows by now. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes.
I won't tell her a thing. These are bad times.
These are bad times. That's not what I heard.
That's not what my husband thinks. That's what my husband thinks.
That's what I've always said.
He'd better shut up.
Someone's got to do the work.
That's not what my husband thinks.
He can't keep anything to himself.
He'd better shut up.
These are bad times.
New in the city, huh? I'm Brian. I'm Master Harrod's apprentice.
What's it like to be...
Why do you ask? You want to be my successor?
Maybe.
Why not? I'm almost done with my apprenticeship, and then I'm gonna leave the city. But not because of Harrod. He is a good master. I have learned a lot from him.
Why do you want to leave this town?
Because the people here are getting on my nerves above all the other masters. I still remember what a fuss it was getting accepted as an apprentice with Harrod. Really, every one of them jokers had something to say about it. I want to decide for myself who I can or can't take as an apprentice. Well, there's Thorben the carpenter, Bosper the bowmaker, Constantino the alchemist, and Matteo. He sells armor, but first of all, he's a merchant. All the masters have their houses here on the street, and Constantino's shop is in the underpass to the temple.
Tell me more about...
He's not in a very good mood right now. A few days ago, the paladins came and ordered him to forge some swords for them. They've even forbidden him to sell swords to anyone else. Now he slaves day and night to finish the job as quickly as possible.
Can I buy weapons from you?
Not really, I'm merely an assistant. The weapons that are made in this smithy are collected by the militia and taken to the towers where they're stored. But if it has anything to do with forging, maybe I can help you.
What can I get from you?
I can sell you some steel billets.
Can you teach me it? I want to learn your abilities. Hey, you!
What do you want?
But so great was the wrath of Beliar that he came across the land and chose the beast. And Beliar spoke to it, and the beast became his subject. And Beliar gave...
Hey, you!
What do you want, stranger? If you've come to beg, I must disappoint you. I am a poor widow. My name is Greta. Ever since my husband died, I have been running the household for my uncle Thorabin.
How's it going?
Same as always, but I don't want to complain.
And Enos spoke to him, and the human became his subject. And Enos gave unto him a portion of his divine power, so that he might undo the work of Beliar.
Show me your wares.
And Beliar spoke to another creature. But Adanos brought forth the tide, and the creature was washed from the face of the earth. But with it, the trees and animals were also washed away, and a deep sadness overcame Adanos. And thus spake Adanos to his brothers, Never again shall you walk upon my land, for it is sacred, and so shall it be. But the human and the beast waged war.
I'll never
on
get
the
this
land
open
of
without the
Adanos,
right key.
and the wrath of the gods was with them.
I know nothing about picking locks. I'll never get this open without the right key. I'll never get this open without the right key. Show me your wares. Hey, you!
Ah, fresh face. You're not from Corinus, are you? This is not a good time for travelers. Bandits everywhere, no work, and now the farmers have risen up too. What winds have blown you here?
I'm looking for work.
Do you know anything about carpentry?
The only thing I can make out of wood is a fire.
And what about locks?
Well...
I'm sorry, but I can't use you if you know nothing about my trade. And I have no money to pay for an apprentice.
What if I...
All right, I shall give you my approval. But you had better get yourself the blessing of the gods first. Say, are you a man of faith?
Well, if you mean, do I say my prayers regularly?
I see. A man who does not ply his trade with the blessing of the gods will never receive my approval. Ask for the gods' forgiveness for your transgressions. Then go to Vatras, the priest of Adanos, and have him give you his blessing. He will tell you where you can find a priest of Innos. You should get his blessing too. Once you have received the blessing of the gods, I shall vote for you.
How about your approval, Master?
Has Vatras given you his blessing?
Not yet.
Then I don't know why you're asking me.
So, you know a lot about locks.
What good is a fine chest without a fine lock? I make my own locks. That way, I can at least be sure I haven't built my chest that sturdy for nothing. A poorly made lock is easy to break, and there are plenty of thieves about in Corinus, especially lately.
Can you teach me how to pick locks?
I don't know whether you can be trusted or not. For all I know, you might be one of those layabouts who only come to town to empty the chests of honest people. I'm not going to teach you anything before I'm convinced that you're an honest fellow.
Can you?
Well, all right, but they won't be of any use to you as long as you don't know how they work.
Can you?
Well, all right.
Have you had an apprentice before?
Yes, and not too long ago.
And what happened?
His name is Elveridge. He's my nephew. I was quite pleased with him, actually, but one day he simply didn't show up for work.
Where is Elveridge now?
How would I know? He kept hanging around that filthy brothel by the harbor. I wouldn't be surprised if he's still warming the bed of some whore down there.
How long has it been since you saw him?
I guess it must be about 2 weeks.
Have you reported that to the militia?
Of course I have. They were supposed to catch him and see to it that the lazy bones does his work, but I already regret that. He can do whatever he wants. Sooner or later he'll realize he'll get nowhere in Corinus without a decent job.
Is that so?
What do you... Not much. They arrived by ship 2 weeks ago from the mainland. Since then, they have withdrawn to the upper end of town. Nobody here really knows exactly why they have come. Many are afraid of an attack by the orcs. I suppose, however, that they are here to quell the farmers' rebellion.
Hey!
I'm asking your blessing.
Why should I give you my blessing, stranger?
I want to start an apprenticeship with one of the masters in the lower part of town.
Go with the blessing of Adanos, my son. Hey!
How about...
Has Vatras...
Yes?
And did you also get the blessing of a priest of Innos?
No, not yet.
You know my terms. You should only ply your trade.
What can I do for you?
What are you selling?
I can offer you everything you need to survive in the wild. Weapons, torches, provisions, even armor. I still have a special piece in stock. Double hardened armor of snapper leather, still unused. Interested?
What do you know about paladins?
Since these bastards have come to this city, I've had nothing but trouble. The last time I was headed for the upper end of town, the guards flat out stopped me and asked me what was my business there.
And?
Of course they let me in. I had my shop in the city when most of those pompous asses were still chasing pigs with wooden swords. And yesterday, the bastards came and confiscated half of my goods.
The paladin seized your goods?
Everything I had stored in the backyard. They simply posted a guard in front of the entrance to the yard. If I'm lucky, they won't take everything. At least they might leave the armor here.
Can you help me get into the upper quarter?
What? What are you going to do there?
I've got an important message.
Well, well. Have you tried getting past the guards?
Oh man, forget it.
That's typical of those beggars. I don't know how important your message is, and it's none of my business. But even if you told them that a ship full of orcs just anchored in the harbor, they'd send you away. Because they have their orders.
So
It seems the question is how...
What are you getting at?
I can help you. After all, I'm one of the most influential people here, but it'll cost you.
What are you asking for your help?
100 gold pieces.
That's a whole damn lot.
Take it easy. It isn't your gold I have in mind.
But...
In principle, it's my gold. Greta, the carpenter's niece, hasn't paid what she owes me in ages. But the little brat is constantly running around in new clothes. That means she has the money. I'd like to beat it out of her. But Master Thorben, the carpenter, is also a very influential man. Get me the money and I'll help you.
How exactly can you help me?
Quite simple. I'll use my influence to see to it that one of the master craftsmen here takes you on as an apprentice. As such, you'll practically be a citizen of the city and can enter the upper quarter. Besides which, you'll earn something while you're at it.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with
one thing at a time. First, fulfill your part of the...
Where could I sign on as an apprentice then?
Basically, with any master here on the main street. That would be Harrod the smith, Bospa the bowmaker, Thorben the carpenter, or Constantino the alchemist. One of them is bound to take you on. But it's important that the other masters agree. That's always been the custom here in Corinus. You just have to convince them. But if more than one of them is against you, you don't stand a chance. So behave yourself.
Why don't you take me on as an apprentice?
I would, but the other masters wouldn't agree. I just recently took on another apprentice.
Is there a...
Perhaps. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
I agree with you completely.
Show me your wares.
He never would have thought of that himself. I agree with you completely. I'd have gone about it differently. I'd have gone about it differently.
You didn't get that from me.
Do you really believe that?
You mustn't believe everything you hear.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
There, where Adanos stood, was a place in which Enos and Beliar had no
Matteo
power.
sent me. You still owe him some gold.
He wants his money? What for? The goods he delivered were flawed, bad fabric, and bad seams. And did you look at the colors? Those are not the colors I ordered. That's fraud, that is. Let me tell you, back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared to do that. Oh, my poor husband. Such a good man he was. Handsome, hardworking, a gentleman of the old school. We had it all. Well, sometimes we were even invited to high society events. The festivities, all the beautiful clothes, the fine dining, and civilized conversations. Everything was better. Ridiculous claims. Whatever shall I do? My pension is barely enough to make ends meet. And times are people must scrimp and say, from his long journey. Most people haven't even heard of love for me. I wept and prayed that my husband had survived the disaster. Every day I hoped to hear from him, but may Innes have mercy on his soul. May he rest in peace. Since that time, I've been living under these modest circumstances, and now that is after the last bit of my life savings. Please have mercy on a poor woman. Back when my husband was alive, he wouldn't have dared. Such a good man he was. Sometimes we're...
Cut it out. Where's the gold?
But I don't have the gold. I'm only a poor widow.
And Beliar spoke to another creature, but Adanos brought forth the tide, and the creature was washed from the face of the earth.
Then we'll simply sell a few of your togs. I'm sure you've still got a bunch of stuff in your closet.
How dare you, uncouth lout! All right, here, take the gold.
See, that wasn't so hard.
And now will you please leave my house?
And thus spake Adanos to his brother.
What else do you want?
Never again shall you walk upon my land.
I've come about Gritta.
My niece? What's your business with her? This isn't about money, is it?
She owes 100 gold pieces to the merchant Matteo.
Tell me this isn't true. Ever since that little piece of work moved in with me, I've had nothing but trouble. She's in debt with practically every single merchant in town. I had to borrow 200 gold pieces from Lamar, the moneylender, just to settle her debts. And now this. Gritta should be in the house. Go ahead, ask her. But I tell you this, she doesn't have a single gold piece.
Your niece had 100 gold pieces.
What? The brazen little serpent. That was my gold. She took it from my chest. Give it back to me. I have to pay off Lamar first. Matteo can get his money later.
No, Matteo will get his money back from me.
You're getting me into a real mess that way. Lamar is not terribly generous when it comes to debts. But at least you're planning to pay my niece's debts. I guess I ought to thank you for that.
Hey, you're new in town, huh?
Yes, and what about you?
I've come from the mainland, and now I'm hanging around here. I'm almost out of gold, so all I can do now is join the militia, I guess. But I don't want to do that. I won't be slaughtered by those orcs on the king's behalf.
What can you tell me about the militia?
One of the paladins has taken command. A certain Lord Andre. He's trying to mobilize half the city in case the orcs attack. But you need to be a citizen of the town in order to be admitted. As far as I know, if you're not a citizen, you can train anyway. But you won't be officially admitted. What else? He has taken over the position of, if you cause any trouble in this town. I was once in a brawl with us. He went crying to Lord Andre and ratted me out. That little matter cost me 50 gold. I was lucky that it happened at night, or others would have witnessed it. The more people complain about you in this town, the higher your penalty will be.
Who did you fight with?
With a fellow named Valentino. He often hangs out in the tavern near the temple. I'm not usually a violent person, but that guy needed his face rearranged in the worst way.
Has anything exciting happened?
You could say that. They robbed Bosper the bowmaker. What a brazen thing to do, I tell you. The fellow just ambled into the shop in broad daylight and grabbed himself a bow. And Bosper right after him, hollering, "Stop right there, you rogue!" But the thief was too fast.
Here's your 100 gold pieces.
And? Did she cause any problems?
None to speak of.
Good. You've held up your part of the deal.
Help me sign on as an apprentice with one of the masters.
Don't worry. I'll keep my part of the bargain. The other masters will only hear the best about you from me.
Were also washed away, and a deep sadness overcame Adonis. And thus spake Adonis to his brothers, "Never again shall you walk upon my land, for it is sacred. Shall it be?"
One more thing.
Listen, kid. I've got important things to do right now. We'll talk again later, got it?
How's business?
When the Paladins came, I first thought that it was a good business opportunity, but they let Herod make their weapons, and neither Hakon nor I make even 1 gold piece off them. Moreover, the farmers no longer supply us with food, and all the prices have gone up.
What's the problem with the farmers?
They refuse to deliver their goods. Now that the ships no longer come in, the city depends entirely on the supplies provided by the farmers, of course. An Onar, the largest farmer, has hired mercenaries to protect his farm from the city guards. Otherwise, they'd simply snatch the goods for themselves. But the mercenaries don't just guard Onar's farm. They come as far as the small farms outside of town to intimidate the farmers. I saw them as I was passing Akil's farm. I wouldn't like to be in his shoes now.
Where will I find Akil's farm?
If you go out of the east gate here and follow the road to the right, you'll come to a stairway. It leads up to Akil's farm, but I wouldn't go there now. The mercenaries are certainly still there.
Show me your wares.
What smart kid!
Halt!
What?
Just wanted to have a look at you. Oh well, you seem to have some money. Go on in.
Nothing to be had there.
Come here, you filthy beast.
Another one of those things.
One less monster.
Too much
around.
for you, filthy beast.
Nothing there. I know nothing about picking locks. I'll never get this open without the right key.
Nobody will learn anything from me.
Adenos saw that order and chaos were now unequal. Any day, Enos would take
Hey, you! Let's talk again.
What?
Your orc is as good as dead.
Good. Then stop wasting your breath and let...
I've got the orc weapon you wanted.
Show me. It's been a while since I've had a weapon like this in my hands. I was a soldier back in the Orc War. Those were tough times, I can tell you. I didn't think you could do it. I'm impressed.
Can I sign on as an apprentice with a different...
You're a good man. I'll give you my... Brian will still be here for a while. And a strong lad to take his place will turn...
When can I...
We can really use a man around here who can... As far as I'm concerned, you can start here right away. As for the other masters, good old Thorben just wants you to get the blessing of the gods. I think that's a good idea. Bosper tried to talk me out of it. He wants you as an apprentice for himself. He asked me to at least give him the opportunity to interest you in his profession. Take a look at it. You can always decide afterwards. Unless you don't want his vote, that is. As usual, Constantino doesn't care about anything. He said that as far as he's concerned, you can start wherever you like. And Matteo says you brought him back his gold. Seems to me you're an honorable young man. You need the approval of at least 4 masters in order to be accepted as an apprentice in the lower part of town. So you should talk to all of them who still aren't convinced about you.
And Adanos was pleased with what had arisen. He delighted in all the beings equal.
I don't want any trouble.
Seen it with my own eyes.
These are bad times.
That's not what my husband thinks.
That's not what I heard.
He'd better shut up. He can't keep anything to himself.
Teach me.
Simply talks too much.
These are bad times. I don't believe that.
You've already gotten more dexterous.
That's not what my husband thinks.
Someone's gonna do the work.
I don't believe that.
He had better shut up.
Vatras sent me. He told me to come to you when I needed...
So you've already been to see Vatras? You must have made a lasting impression on him. Otherwise, he certainly wouldn't have volunteered my name. Especially not since the matter with those missing people still hasn't been resolved. Tell me what you need.
Vatras gave me this ornament to bring to you. He said it is to be taken back.
Of course. It's up to me, as usual. I might have known. I'll have to walk halfway across the island to take it back to the water mages.
He'd better shut up.
Really? How interesting.
What I can't talk about. Vatras would have my head.
Vatras.
Getting tired of being the underdog, are you? All right, I see your point. I can exert my influence with the mercenaries if you want to join Lee. And I'm sure we can find a way to get you into the monastery soon. But the easiest thing would certainly be for you to join the militia. Which community do you prefer?
I can't take care of everything for everybody.
He simply talks too much.
The militia.
Yes, I can imagine you'd like that, eh? Read the law to other people while you're pocketing their purses. The Paladins have set up their provisions store by the harbor. Their provisions master is a good friend of mine. Maybe he can do something for you. His name is Martin.
He simply talks too much.
So what's your business with Vatras?
I've got this little agreement with the water mages, you see.
What kind of an agreement?
We work for them, and they see to it that our past in the penal colony doesn't get us into trouble.
You're talking about the Ring of Water?
You've heard of it?
Vatras told me about it.
You might have mentioned that right away.
Tell me more about
The ring is to the water mages what the paladins are to the fire magicians. But, unlike the paladins, we operate in the background. The ring is a mighty weapon in the battle against the dangers that threaten the people of Corinus. But this only works as long as we keep the identity of all those secret who belong to the Ring of Water. So keep this to yourself.
Sure.
And he works all day, too.
I want to join the ring.
That's not what I heard.
What did you do?
I protected them for a long time when we were still living with the barrier, and they have plenty of reason to be grateful to me.
What's it like to...
We are very different from the usual communities you can join here in Corinus. Once you're one of us, we're not going to ask anything of you that you are not ready to do. The only thing we truly require of you is to keep quiet. We work in secret and do not want to let outsiders know who our members are. We shall keep an eye on you. Everything else remains to be seen.
I see. I need your help.
And what exactly would...
What about some better armor?
Mateo sells armor, but he'll probably charge you an arm and a leg for it. There is a way you could get it cheaper, though, if you don't mind pulling a fast one on the militia.
What do you mean?
There's a storage area next to Mateo's house, but all the merchandise has been confiscated by the militia. Go to Zurus at the marketplace and get yourself a sleeping spell. Then you send the guards off to Dreamland. I'm sure you'll find some decent armor among Mateo's stock.
I need some money.
Don't we all? Sorry, but I have none to give you. But Lamar, the moneylender, still owes me a favor. Go to him and borrow whatever money you need. I'll take care of the rest. You'll find Lamar in the Harbor District, where it borders on the lower part of town.
Now that's typical, isn't it?
About those...
And he works all day, too.
Tell me...
The first was William, one of the fishermen here in Corinus. One day, he simply didn't return. At first, we thought that one of those sea monsters out there had eaten him in his boat for breakfast. But not too long afterwards, other people started disappearing from the town and the surroundings. Pretty random events, though. Everyone's at a loss so far. The way it looks, we'll just have to wait until we finally stumble across a clue.
Isn't this a case for the militia?
The militia is pretty useless if you ask me. They're never going to clear this up. The missing people have just vanished into thin air.